Welcome back. Today is day three of my workshop to help you prepare for your most magnetic business year yet. And over the past 2 days, we've reflected on the lessons and the wins from 2025. And we also did an audit and refreshed our brands to align with where we're headed, right? And today is where everything comes together: your clarity, your renewal brand energy, and a plan that actually supports the version of you you're becoming. I remember like a few years ago, my whole plan for the following year was like, making a list, a to-do list of the things that I wanted to achieve. So I had things like in my notes, like be consistent, post more. I mean, whatever that means, right? And shocker, that did absolutely nothing for me and my business. So I decided that I needed something simple. I needed something repeatable, something kind, and something that worked with my brain and not against it. But I needed a plan. Once I gave myself permission to plan in a way that felt more aligned and less forced, everything shifted, right? I found more ease and more consistency and more flow, right? For me, that's one of the main words, more flow. This plan flows with my lifestyle, flows with the way I want to live my life because I build my business to live my life on my own terms, right? My business is to help other people, and the way it works for me is that it is aligned with the way I want to live, right? So things changed once I found a way of planning that wasn't a random list or anything that felt overwhelming, right? So I wanted a plan that feels like support and not pressure, right? So we're going to start by mapping out our best year yet. And we're going to start with a vision. We're going to think about where you want to be by the end of 2026. I want you to visualize your business and life goals because remember what I just said. It is connected, right? The way that you run your business, it's going to affect your life and life goals. So, what are your life and business goals? What do you want for yourself, right? So, we want this vision to guide your planning. And instead of focusing on tasks, we're going to focus on outcomes, right? So when we shift this, we're like, what is the outcome I want? Instead of like, what are the tasks that I have to complete? Like everything changes because we're focusing on the outcome, that beauty of where you're headed and who you want to become, right? And what you want, how you want your business to work for you, right? So instead of a big list that we're going to avoid by February, we are going to start with a few priorities, a few main bigger goals, right? And when you choose those goals, I want you to choose the ones that will truly move the needle for you, right? So let's pick a few goals for the next year, a few things that you want to happen, how you want to in how you envision your life by the end of the year. And then we are going to break it down into quarters and monthly themes. Why do we break them down? Because it when you think of big goals, you're like, okay, I have this goal. And then what do I have to do? Right? So when you break them down, when we break things down into like smaller, easier things to achieve, it's just much easier and it feels a lot more doable, right? And manageable instead of like that big goal. It helps you stay focused, right? So I'm going to give you some examples here just to make it clear, right? So let's say you thinking of your vision for next year, you have these four main goals that you're going to break them down into quarters. So the first quarter of your year, let's say you want to launch a new service. Then quarter two, you want to grow your email list, which I always, always recommend. Do not rely on social media platforms because you never know when that will change. Your email list is yours to keep, right? Nobody can take that away from you. So grow your email list. Quarter number three, you plan a photo shoot or rebrand, for example. And quarter number four, let's say you're preparing for your holiday promotions, that time of the year when, things are happening depending on your services and or products. You want to participate in the holiday joy. So then what we're going to do, like for each one of those quarters, we are going to break it down into the months. Each month will have a theme. And see that I'm using the word theme and not like task, right? So let's say because your first quarter is to launch a new service, let's say in January, you are going to do research. You're going to research and see that's all you're doing in January. You're going to focus on that. You're doing research. February, you're going to build the offers, right? The service that the new service that you're creating based on the research that you did in January. And then in March, you are going to market and launch and sell, right? You see how much easier it is to look at it that way instead of like, oh, I want to launch a new service. I don't know what to do. You're just breaking it down. This is all I'm doing in January, all I'm doing in February, and all I'm doing in March. And then it gives you it gives you more focus, right? And instead of like, oh, let me figure out what I need to do next, right? It gives you way more focus. Um, so make it simple, make it doable, and make it human because we are not machines. Make sure you have some time for family, friends, joy, um, getting in nature, doing the things that you love as well, right? Don't overdo it. So make it human is a very important tip as well that we as entrepreneurs, we need that reminder, right? So having those quarterly focus will help you stay aligned without that pressure of, being perfect or being too big of a goal, right? Um, and then once you do that, you have your plan. You have your plan for the year figured out. And then can you just have that plan on a paper and just yay, I have a plan. No, we need to execute that plan. But most importantly, we need to schedule some regular check-ins, right? If you just set the goals and you forget about them, guess what? Again, another shocker. Nothing's gonna happen. So we need to, what I suggest is that you schedule what I call the CEO day. Once a month, you are going to dedicate a day that you are going to be looking at what is working, what is not working, and what needs adjustment, right? We need to be having a business and having a plan. We still need to be able to be flexible, right? Because life happens, and also because sometimes what we thought was going to work doesn't really work. So we need to pivot, right? So having the CEO day is a game changer because it's just going to keep you on track. Okay? Um so let me see if I forgot anything. Yeah. I also recommend choosing a word for the year that is gonna act as a guide, not a rule. So, for example, if your word is aligned, your decisions will be anchored, will be also always connected to the word aligned. So every time you have your CEO day and you're working on things, ask yourself, is it aligned? Is it aligned with my vision? Is it aligned with my why? What my mission is, right? So choose a word, choose this, your brand word, your energy for the year. You know, it could be something aligned, something elevate, something trust, expand. So, what is going to be your word for 2026? And the last point that I have for today, guys, is to automate and delegate. And this is really, it is really difficult for me to do because I'm like, it's my business. I don't want to, you know, give, I don't want someone else to be like in my, I don't know. It just feels really difficult for me to delegate and to have other people do things for my business and my brand. But also, I need to recognize and acknowledge that I cannot do it all myself, right? If I want to grow as a business, if I want to have time for the things that I really love doing, right? The photo shoots, the being with my clients, doing workshops and coaching people. If I want to be doing that, maybe I shouldn't be spending hours, sending the same emails that I should probably have like a template that is ready to go, for example. So I already do that. I have the templates. I use Honeybook to help as my CRM for my business, and it's a game changer because it helps um, with all this all the plannings, right, and all the templates, all the things that are like on repeat that you have to do for multiple clients, right? So automating things that are like that, like you write the template for an email, and every time a client hires you, you have that welcome email that is always kind of the same idea, right? You have like guides, you have things ready that you can use right away without having to, so there are some tools, and that's also on your, it's in your workbook. I have links for those tools like Honeybook, Flowdesk for email list for you to grow your email list, for example, social media schedulers, things like that. Do what you can to make your life easier, but in a way that it still feels like you, and it still feels like it still feels aligned with who you are and what your business is, right? And celebrate your small wins. Every time you hit a milestone, celebrate that milestone, right? To keep you motivated and make the whole process more enjoyable, right? Yeah, so celebrate all your wins every time you finish a month and you're like, yeah, I did that. Do whatever makes you happy, whatever brings you joy, to acknowledge that win, right? And yeah, this isn't about perfection, guys. It's about being kind to you and to the way you want to do things, the way that you flow as a human being. And I really think if you struggle with consistency like I do, I think this approach will help you stay on track, and it will help you uh, do all that without burning out, right? So yeah, you've already done the clarity work, you've refreshed the way you show up, and now you're building a year that supports your growth, your energy, and your success. 2026 is already shaping up to be your strongest year yet, and I'm very proud of you. If you have any questions, anything you would like to comment and ask me, feel free to reply to the emails you've been getting. Do your homework, use the workbook to create the most magnetic year for you in 2026. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, keep in touch. Bye.